Welcome to Muscles and Malarkey, a podcast about all things strength, fitness, and fun. I'm your host, Mary. Today, I want to talk about something I have been asked about in the past: how to approach lifting when you're traveling, whether it's for vacation, work trips, or even during prep. And before we get into anything else, I want to say this loud and clear right up at the top. Open your ear holes, okay? You do not have to work out while traveling. I've done it both ways. I've lifted on vacation, I've skipped lifting on vacation, and both choices were totally fine depending on the season of life I was in. For example, I have trained while traveling when I was on prep. At that point, lifting was part of the bigger picture and it aligned with my priorities at the time. The timing of my trip also worked well because I wasn't in the intense part of my prep yet. However, that doesn't mean that that's the expectation, especially if you're on a normal vacation and the goal is to rest, connect, and enjoy yourself. I'm all for it. So let's talk about options because there is a big spectrum here. Let's talk about the different places you might be staying when traveling. Now, if you're staying at a hotel, most of them will have something, usually some cardio equipment and maybe some dumbbells, possibly a free weight barbell if you're lucky. Is it elite? No, but it can absolutely get the job done if you just want to move your body, keep a little routine, or even get a little pump. If you're staying at a resort, sometimes you get lucky. Most resorts tend to have a pretty nice setup. For example, in 2017, after I graduated with my master's, my family and we went to Jamaica, and they had a really nice workout space. There was plenty of room, there was some solid equipment, it was good vibes. It was resort life, like I had nothing to complain about. Now let's say you're staying in an Airbnb. Unless that Airbnb comes with a gym attached to it, some people have gyms in their homes, I guess. I'm saying it like that, but I literally have a bunker gym in my house. Anyway, usually your best option is to look for gyms nearby. On my last meet prep for the Hoosier Hoedown, I fully planned to lift while I was on vacation with my husband. And before I even left home, I scoped out a gym that looked great. Then, after getting down to Mississippi and focusing on my time with my husband, my priorities shifted. I decided that my time, energy, and mental space were better spent enjoying the trip. So I did not go to the gym. And that decision was just as valid as if I had gone. If you do want to train while traveling, I do have some ideas for you. I would recommend having a loose game plan. Know what workouts you want to do while you're gone. This doesn't mean that you have to follow your program perfectly. It just gives you a direction so that you're not standing in the gym wondering what the hell you're supposed to do. I recommend scoping out gym options before you leave for your trip. Depending on your goals, this will matter. A standard commercial gym is usually totally fine. Personally, I like finding non-chain gyms, like locally owned gyms when I travel. They're fun, unique, and often they have some pretty good equipment. When I went to go visit my friend Brian in New York City, I was able to find a gym, which ironically is a little harder to do than you would think in New York City, but I was able to find a gym. It was kind of like a CrossFit-esque gym. And I was able to get my lift in. It had all the equipment I needed. And honestly, it was nice to just kind of be in a different space. When I'm looking for a gym to drop into, I usually check for barbells, squat racks, deadlift platforms, basic machines, and dumbbells. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you read the reviews. Reviews tell you a lot about the vibe of the place, how busy it gets, and whether it's actually worth your time. When I was looking at reviews for places down in Mississippi, I found a couple, and if I hadn't read the reviews, I wouldn't have realized that they were like an individual or team training gym, not necessarily like an open gym to the public type of thing, I highly recommend reading the reviews. It helps weed out a lot of not good options. And most gyms will offer either like a 1-day drop-in or a week-long pass, which does make things pretty easy. And honestly, there's something really freeing about dropping into a gym where no one knows you and no one will ever see you again. If you feel a little awkward or silly, it truly does not matter. You're just a random visitor passing through. And that can actually be kind of fun. This is the most important part. I want to stress that your mindset matters more than getting the workout done on vacation. Remember to be flexible and honest about your priorities. Your intention to train should never be rooted in punishment, guilt, being good, or burning off calories because you're on vacation. Yes, routine can be grounding, but vacation is also meant to be different. It's not your normal routine. I spend a lot of time in the gym when I'm at home. I don't want to spend hours at a gym when I'm on vacation. Shorter sessions, fewer exercises, or even just moving your body in other ways is more than enough. Here's the bottom line. You don't owe the gym anything. Training on vacation is optional, not mandatory. If you do lift, keep it flexible and aligned with your priorities. Movement should support your life, not take away from it. And vacation lifting isn't about perfection. It's about choice. And I hope I've made it clear that the choice to train or not to train is totally valid depending on what you want to do. And if you do want to train, I hope that these tips can help guide you. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow, share, rate, and review. It helps the podcast grow and reach more people. Do you have any questions or suggestions? Email me at musclesandmalarkey@gmail.com or find me on Instagram at musclesandmalarkey. Yeehaw and yee-claw, everybody.